I recently caught a clip of Jordan Peterson's return home video, and I knew right away that I wanted to watch this video in full and give a commentary about it. And so that's what we're going to do here in a second. And if we haven't met yet, my name's Koharlan, and welcome to the Mantra Corner, where we discuss things like how to transcend anxiety and how to free yourself from the state of mind which causes it. So stay with me, and if you watch to the end, you're going to learn actually some skills on how to transcend anxiety for yourself that you can apply today. And if you are intrigued by any of this or you like it, please go ahead and click that like button and consider subscribing. I'd love to stay in contact with you, and we'll be making more videos like this. But without further ado, let's get to Jordan and see what he has to say here, so we can find out what he's been going through here
Hi,
recently.
everyone. As some of you may know, but others will not, it's been a long while since I put up any new content on this YouTube channel. I've been suffering from impaired health, severely impaired health, as a consequence of benzodiazepine use for anxiety, or more accurately, from a combination of using that medication and then ceasing its use once I realized it was dangerous.
So I want to stop right there because, that's pretty much the only thing that I saw when I watched the clip earlier. I was like, wow, okay. And then I was busy doing other things. I didn't get a chance. But right there, he's talking about he was taking benzodiazepines for anxiety. And, he didn't realize the dangers of it. And, it took him by surprise. And, he got into this health problem where he was addicted. I think he's going to get into more of this in a little bit. But, already I'm like, well, of course, man. I mean, how did you not know this? You're a clinical psychologist. Yeah, but did you drink your own Kool-Aid? Because, I studied psychology, in college. I have a degree in counseling, and, I have a degree in drug counseling. So we had to look into what all these drugs do and how they operate. And, I knew right away, I was like, this stuff isn't a cure for anything. At the very best, it can help you get over a little bit of a hump. But, for 99% of the people out there, it's something that can really mess you up. It's life-threatening. I mean, realistically, I don't know if you know what benzodiazepines do, but it's basically the class of drugs like Xanax are in, and Klonopin and Valium. Nonetheless, what these things do is they stimulate the same receptors in the brain that alcohol stimulates when we drink alcohol. So you're basically taking something that simulates being drunk. Now, I don't know about you, but I've never heard of anyone who's a reputable therapist, psychologist, psychiatrist, or counselor, or even just, an intelligent person who would say, well, you have anxiety problems, I'll just start drinking. Why don't you just have a few drinks every day? And then maybe in the middle of the day, if you get anxious at work, just check out for a little bit and take some shots. You'll be fine. I mean, that's insane. We already recognize this because we know that you wouldn't be able to function very well if you did that. But for some reason, the medical community that prescribes these drugs hasn't caught up to this. Anyways, it confounds me. But anyways, I don't want to say anything bad about you, Jordan. I mean, I definitely respect you. I respect your work, and I applaud you for coming out with this information, because I'm sure it's going to help a lot of people to shine the light on these drugs and exactly what they do and what they don't do, which is solve the problem of anxiety. And, we'll get further into that in a minute. Let's let him continue.
That's put me in and out of hospitals for much of the last year, in Connecticut, in the United States, in Toronto, in Canada, in Moscow, in Russia, and in Belgrade, Serbia, as my family searched for specialists who could aid me in the severe post-use withdrawal and neurological damage-related consequences of both the benzodiazepine use and...
Okay, I'm just going to speed this up for a second so we can make sure we get through this. You don't want this to be a terribly long video, but nonetheless.
And its cessation. I started taking it in 2016, 2017, early 2017, according to the prescribed recommendations, and really never give it a second thought. That was a mistake, to say.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. He took it to the prescribed, what they thought this is a good amount. He didn't overdo it according to what they were saying, but this stuff can be like poison. And if you're using it regularly, consistently, it definitely is debilitating.
Anyways, I've learned some things during that trying time, I suppose, or at least I can tell you what kept me going during what was certainly the worst period of my life. Um, Family, that's for sure. Friends, and the work I was able to continue doing, as I was able to continue writing, um, something that I'll talk about probably within the next month. My family, my wife Tammy, my son Julian and his wife Jillian, and my daughter Michaela and her husband Andre have been of inestimable value to me and provided me with tremendous support during this period. Um,
Yeah, it's incredibly important to have a strong emotional support network whenever you're going through something like addiction or, making a radical transformation in your life. If you have the support of people who understand, it doesn't have to be family members, but if you have family that you can relate to or a close friend or two, that's very, very important and indispensable, really. Because, we need to know that we're not alone. And so that's like a lot of the reason why I make these videos is because I've been through some really intense, transformations myself. And I want others to know that there's light at the end of the tunnel and there's a way out. There are skills that you can learn, there are tools you can develop, and there are ways of changing your perspective and the way that you see yourself and the world around you that can liberate you from the anxiety-causing worldview and paradigm which most people on this planet right now are subject to and suffering from. And that's why they prescribe these drugs like candy to, such high numbers of people, and they're not solving the problem. All right, let's get back to Jordan.
Michaela and Andre accompanied me to Russia and to Serbia. Both of those episodes were extremely grueling and lasted for months. But I'm alive, and I have plans for the future. I want to thank those people from the bottom of my heart. My extended family and friends, whom I will name elsewhere, went above and beyond the call of duty.
My heart is warming right now. I sense his sincerity.
That I would have the character to provide to any one of them what they provided to me. So that was a humbling lesson, I suppose. My work, this sort of work, although it was all writing and not video production, was also extremely useful because I could sustain myself by producing and then culling through thoughts that were helpful despite my anguish, I suppose, and my lack of hope for the future. Hopefully, we'll see, but hopefully much of that is behind me and I can return to something resembling a normal life. I can tell you what my plans are for video production, at least for the next while. I completed a biblical series devoted to Genesis in fall of 2017. And
okay, so he's getting into his biblical series, commentary on how, stories in the Bible and things, I believe. I haven't seen any of this, really. I've only seen,
in the Old Testament, which is
I got to be clear, too. I've only seen a small amount of Jordan's work, but some of it has been influential, and some of it I saw that was, a little bit flawed. And I see this is like kind of a result of some of that, which is, I remember watching the Joe Rogan show, I believe, where he talked about, you talked about Jordan, about how having a purpose, is so important to eliminate or to reducing the overall anxiety and suffering, to offsetting the suffering, I think is like how you put it, Jordan. And so what the thing is, though, that is true to some degree, right? It offsets some of the suffering, but it doesn't eliminate it and it doesn't cure it. And you still suffer anxiety. And so therefore you're still looking for ways to, escape from that suffering. So, what I found is you really have to access an entirely different perspective, which is a different mind state. It's a way to gain freedom without, necessarily having to have anything particular circumstances in the world be a particular way. And while I don't disavow the importance of having a purpose, I think that's very important. It helps us keep direction, be able to make strong boundaries for ourselves and for others, to discipline ourselves, to be a benefit to the world around us, and to ourselves and others. And, to give us a reason, and meaning to our lives sometimes that can be very helpful. But it doesn't cure anxiety. And, the reason is because anxiety is being produced at a level of mind that we are stuck in. And it's having to do with our entire perspective. And in order to escape from that, we actually need to learn how to shift out of that mind-identified state and access other non-dual states of reality and be able to experience, a life from those states instead of just from the mind. And you may have noticed, over time, as you've evolved as a human being on this planet, that at some point in time, you know, you may have gotten stuck in your head. And, in our head, that's where anxiety comes from. That's where it lives. And as long as we're stuck in the head, we'll be subject to anxiety. So we need to learn embodiment practices, ways of getting out of that stuck state. And so that's a lot about, what I teach in some of my programs and some of my other videos. Talk about ways that we can unhook from this anxious mind and access, states like open-hearted awareness, states like spacious awareness. And we find that there's a presence that's here, that's already here, that we don't even have to work to create. There's a state that's anxiety-free. It's available for you right now. You don't have to work for it. All you need to do is learn how to access it. And you can't create it. You see, it's not built on thought. You can't have it by building something in the world and creating something there and thinking you're going to have stability and security in that. You won't. Ultimately, everything fades. So on that level, there's no stability. And we try to get stability, right? We try to, find ways of getting security. But if we're relying on, whatever we can create for ourselves on this world, we're always, for our stability and for our, security, we'll always be vulnerable because we can't control the world. We can't control everything. And, we'll always be subject to nature. And so, we have to learn how to access the anxiety-free state. And what we'll do is, right now, just take a moment and allow your awareness, just allow your awareness to be present and aware. Notice where you're aware from, right? Most of us, it's, we're generally aware from behind our eyes. And that feels like that's kind of where we live. So, but for right now, try this as an exercise. Let yourself unhook awareness from behind your eyes and let it go out into the space, in which, all of this is being seen, heard, and experienced. Everything is being experienced within this space. Whatever space is in your direct presence, it's arising in that space. And so as best you can, just allow awareness to become aware of that space. So like not the objects we're focusing on, these things that are tangible, but actually allow awareness to become aware of the space in the room. And you can let your eyes kind of defocus. And notice just that sometimes is relieving, is relieving of stress. And then notice that space, right, that you're aware of, check to see if there's awareness there already. Notice if there's awareness in the space. Just check. Now, in order to experience this, you have to unhook. You can't stretch your awareness, from behind your eyes out there into the space. It doesn't work. You really have to let go up here. Just quickly let go as best you can. Allow your awareness to go out into the space. And notice when you're aware of the space, there's no anxiety. There's no stress at all. Now, you may feel a little confused. You may feel a little spacey, right? You may not know what to do or what this means yet, but this is a process. But just from this little exercise, you can see how quickly and easily you are capable of getting out from being stuck in your head and accessing a different level of awareness. A level of awareness which is anxiety-free. And so, I encourage you to practice this more. And, I'm going to be covering some more videos where we'll be doing exercises like this. Feel free to look at some of the links below. I'll put in the description. I'll have a link for my group where you can reach out to me, if you want to work with me, as well as a link on my calendar where you can book a call if you'd like. And, but this is, that's not really what this video is about. This is more about, what's going on here. But we got the gist, I think, of, what happened. I'm not sure what all the underlying problems were, but I know one thing. Drugs were not the answer. I mean, here's a clinical psychologist. He's telling you right now, these anxiety reducing drugs destroyed his life and they didn't solve the problem. He's still picking up the pieces. So, from the anxiety destroyer to you, trust me, kids, that stuff won't solve the problem, but there are ways that you can. Now, if you need to use something like that to get you over a hump because you're feeling suicidal, my God, don't, don't feel bad for doing that. Don't beat yourself up. Go easy on yourself. You know what I mean? But hold yourself accountable at the same time. Realize that it's ultimately not going to solve the thing. You got to be willing to face yourself, to be able to face what's in there. But when you learn to access these other states of mind, it actually becomes very, much more gentle to look at those, dark places within ourselves and to be able to generate enough presence there to release it and heal from it. So that's what I encourage you moving forward. I hope this video has been, entertaining and insightful in some kind of way. And Jordan, once again, much respect to you as an intellectual. I mean, this man is a giant. And he has offered many, many good things to the world. And I know he's going to turn this around and offer, I know you're going to turn this around, Jordan. You're going to be offering some fantastic content for us again moving forward. And I hope that you are able to really transcend this. But I also hope that, I'd love to discuss with you at some point, or anyone out there who wants to discuss this, what are your thoughts on, being free of anxiety? Is it possible to work it out in the mind? But, the thing is, like Einstein said, you cannot solve a problem at the same level of mind which created it. You see, he was pointing to this reality. So you have to access, if what he's saying is true, and in my experience it is, in order to solve the problems of the mind which are created in, this level of thinking, I mean, contemplate this for a while for yourselves and tell me if you don't find it to be true as well. Where do your problems really live? Are they out there in the world, or are they in here in your head? Yeah, right? Where what we do with all that stuff. So this understanding, this recognition will teach you that you can push the pieces around as much as you want up here, but it's not going to really get at the underlying programming which created the problem in the first place. So let's access a different level of mind that's anxiety free, and see if we can start to live from that. And notice what happens. So once again, if you think about this also, anxiety is built on resistance. And that's one of the reasons why I always use that saying at the end. And here it comes again. I hope to see you guys on another video real soon. I'm going to keep them coming, and hope you enjoy them and learn from them. Go ahead and don't forget to subscribe, like, hit that alarm button, whatever. Share this with somebody you think it might be helpful to. And as always, remember, resistance is futile.
Single sentence aphorisms imparting truth. I think the analysis of those, which can be done in a relatively short period of time, will prove of benefit to me and perhaps to those who are inclined to watch or listen to my analysis. I would also like to thank all of you for continuing to support my work. I have far more followers on YouTube and Instagram and Twitter, for that matter, than I did before I became ill. And my book has sold very well in multiple languages, and that's really amazing and remarkable. And I hope that what I produce in the future that people will find it of equal or greater utility. That's an ambitious hope, given how much attention what I've produced before has garnered, but it still seems an appropriate goal for my upcoming activities. I guess I could let you all know as well that we've put together, this is an initiative that was spearheaded by Michaela and Andre, we've put together the ability to translate the YouTube lectures into a variety of languages. I think it's 6 at the moment. 6 will be rolled out over the next few months, professionally translated, dubbed, because our analysis indicated that in most of these markets, dubbed videos are preferred to subtitle videos. And so that will provide the opportunity for the ideas I've been developing, many of which I have derived from other sources, to be sure, to have an impact beyond the English language speaking world. There seems to be some desire for that.
I think that your work is just going to continue to improve, Jordan. I think that if you really resolve this issue within yourself, especially, and be able to, kind of rise from the ashes like a phoenix, that you will be, a powerhouse, and that you will, that your impact will increase exponentially because the value of your work will increase because your perspective will increase. I think that, the more we raise ourselves up in consciousness and in energy, whatever we do is going to be influenced and is going to be colored by that energy. And so as I see, the sincerity of your conviction at, really wanting to determine to beat this thing, I know that, and I encourage you to keep producing valuable content. I know that it's just going to continue to get better.
My book, my last book, 12 Rules for Life, sold 300,000 copies in South Korea, for example, which very much surprised me because I wasn't sure that the ideas, well, first were translatable, but were going to be acceptable in a culture with such a different developmental background. Anyways, I'm not going to make this a long video. I wanted to tell you that I'm back in Toronto, that I'm in much better health, although it's still severely impaired, especially in the morning. But I can work again, and I really want to. And that to let you know that with God's grace and mercy, I'll be able to start generating original material once again and pick up where I left off. Thank you very much. And, well, thank you very much is probably sufficient.
Well, we certainly highly encourage you to do so, Jordan. I mean, it would be, fantastic to be able to see you, over the course of the next several months and over the course of the year to produce some content that would really be, fantastic, that would come from a new perspective, that was born of your trial and tribulation, but now you really, through this process that you've undergone, have come back with the keys to something, something that you'll be able to offer people like myself, people like us, who have dealt with anxiety and, would like to be able to consider themselves anxiety free. And I know that you're all about, human progression and the human potential movement. What are we capable of? So again, all of the people who, I think they're going to be also very intrigued by this type of work that I've been doing, because it is what I believe to be taking us as humans to the next level, like Human 2.0, when we learn to operate from this new level of awareness, which takes a little bit of time. It takes some integration. I'm still in that integration period. I can access it. I can stay in it from, for periods of time, but sometimes I get sucked back into my head. I have to take some time to reestablish it. And so, but it's a process you'll undergo. And, when you are in that state, it's like a flow state. It's like the state that, very high performing athletes get into. But it's something that we're all capable of doing. We're all capable of accessing it. We just need to learn the skill. And then once we do, we have it for life. And, when you do learn this skill, it's not just that you're anxiety free. The benefits that you get are tremendous. One of the things that it offers me, for instance, is whenever I snap out of my head and I connect with my body, and I become aware from, let's say, my heart center, I notice that, or even from spacious awareness, I notice that my body is connected to everything. I notice that directly. It's not a theory. It's not something I think or believe, but I actually feel it. Which, when you feel that, and you feel, as I said before, that relief, as soon as you unhook and you're able to become aware from another level, you sense that relief. A lot of times guys I work with, they'll sigh. And as soon as I'm walking them through this process, I hear them, So I know, okay, yeah, they got it. They got it. They just set the baggage down, that baggage lives in our head. Again, that's where the anxiety lives. So again, thank you, Jordan, man. Thank you so much for your work, and continue to do it. Continue to inspire us as men, as women, as individuals to be more responsible for ourselves, to take a responsibility to grow, to see what can become. What is possible, what is our potential, and then to determine to drive ourselves to see what that level is and create it for ourselves in our lives. So thank you for your work. I look forward to seeing you producing some great content.